Okay everybody, welcome back. We have been 3 weeks away on the road with this little baby, the DJI Copilot. And there's some things we need to look at seriously. Coming right up. Alright everyone, so as I said, we did the 3 weeks. We took the DJI Copilot. We took loads of footage, so much footage, it's actually a bit overwhelming for where we start on the project, because we've got so much video from GoPros. We got some great video from the Mavic Air, which was amazing. We'll do another review on that one, I guess. We used this camera here, which is the Canon G7X. And we had shooters, we had Charles, we had Amelia, we had me, and we had Mum, didn't we? Gang behind the camera.
Yep.
Alright, so as I said, this is a great piece of kit, and it really came to my eye because it was just what we needed when we were going travelling for 3 weeks in California. We travelled from the UK and we recorded everything on all of this equipment. So my best tip, so that you don't have to watch all the way to the end of the video if you don't want to, is if you're going away with this anytime soon, just please take one of these with you, because that little paper clip is going to save your bacon. There's a tiny little hole in here, which means that with the paper clip you can reset it on the road, on the go, because a lot of the times there's situations where it doesn't quite do what you want it to do. For instance, right here is giving me all the Zs. Now, why is it giving me all the Zs? Because it says it's asleep, and I'm pressing the buttons, and it's not doing anything. Look, I'm pressing the button, I'm pressing it once, I'm holding it down, and it still says it's asleep. Now, that's a problem. So what I'm going to have to do is reset it in here. Let me do it this way around for you. And as I do that, I hold it down, and there you go, it's repowered. So without that, you can't do anything. You can't upload, you can't download, you can't connect it with your phone. It becomes completely bricked. But the good news is, by using that, you won't need to you won't lose any of your photos or videos, so don't worry about doing that. It just does a reset and it reboots it, and all is good after that. There you go. So now it's showing 88%. I can press this, it actually does something a little bit now. It's got battery power, it tells you how much free space it's got. You can see there that it says it's got, well, from 2,000 gigabytes or 2 terabytes, it says that it's got 1,825 left. So that's why I'm in a bit of a quandary as to where to start this project, because there is a lot of data. All right, okay, so at the end of every day, religiously, I downloaded everything from the drone, all the different cameras, and it was brilliant. But one thing that would be great if they could do it would be when you go, before you go to eject or take out your SIM card, would be to give you the option to actually delete what was on the SIM card. Because every time I had to go take the SIM card out, or the memory card out, sorry, and put it back into the camera that it was in, and then delete all the stuff off, and then start a refresh. The bonus is, obviously, I didn't have to buy loads of memory cards. So yeah, it worked very well in that respect. But what I want to show you now is just how slow it actually was to review the images at the end of the day. So in the end, I decided just having all this information was great, so I just put all the cards in, take all the data off, put it onto the Copilot, take the cards out, put them back on the cameras, in the cameras, and then delete them off the camera, off the cards. And then everything then was on this. So what we did was this. And if it stuck or wasn't very happy, then I'd put in and reset it with this every time. But let me just show you what happened here. So a bit of Face ID of that. So I launched this by pressing it. This pings, this turns itself on, and it should launch the app over here. Now it does take about 20 seconds, I guess. approximately, which is what they say, which is fine, no problem with that. Here we go, here's the initial and problem already. You can see that it says the internal volume is not mounted, so there are definitely some bugs going on here. I'm not quite sure what that's about. Okay, so for instance, immediately here, it now says, although I'm connected to it, I'm not actually connected to it. So that's all says it's working fine. It says I'm connected by this little marker here. But it did come up and say not connected. So there are definitely some bugs going on with this thing. If I go into settings, I can rename everything. I can tell you that it's got the latest firmware, which is 1.0.34. What? I can't even say it. 1.0.34.1. I don't really want to reset the app, so the only thing I suppose I can do is unplug it and try and reconnect and see what that does. So now I'm gonna, because nothing is going on, seriously nothing's going on, I'm gonna close the app, get rid of that app, and I'm gonna, somehow it's relaunching now. Let's see what happens now. So it says it's relaunching here. Now it's saying it's got some other device connected, USB maybe, is that? Oh, it says it's doing something. No idea what this is doing, so I'm going to hold this down maybe. Cancel, cancelled. I have no clue what is going on. So this is where this, my friends, is going to come in handy again, because again I'm going to have to try and do a factory reset, not a factory reset, just a reset with this in here. Goes in there, hold it down, release, and it looks like it's connecting. Let's see everybody, because this is getting very frustrating. So hence the way, it's all very good the way it connects, but that part of it is the least interesting because it just doesn't work very well or reliably. So just get your cards in there, get all your data off them. It is backing them up, don't worry about that. Delete them off your devices afterwards, and then, you know, from there when you get back to your computer you can download them all and you'll see everything is there. Okay, something else to note. So if you're using a DJI Osmo 2 mobile, it has its own app, and then what happens is when you record with that app, it downloads it to your phone, to your mobile device, and that's all well and good, but then there's no card obviously to put it into the Copilot. So what you have to end up doing is saving it to your roll and then uploading it once you've plugged in the actual cable, and that's fine, but it's another step that you have to do. And if you're using the drone, that's another different step as well, because that has its own memory card, but also when it also saves directly to your phone, and that means that you've then got two versions of it. Which one do you then want to use? And then it all gets a bit confusing. I've got one from the SIM card that I've downloaded to the Copilot. I've got one on my phone, which might not be the full res version. It really can get overwhelming very quickly. So anyway, I am struggling big time with this, trying to get this working right now. So I'll come back to you once I'm hooked into it. Finally, it's just connected. Wow. About 6 or 7 times, and about 10-15 minutes later, it has finally connected to my phone. Yes. Wow. Okay, so now you can see that there's another part up here which says I am connected and gives you the eject button, and that's all well and good, and now I can go into it and now I can see my backups. But this is where you get to see the speed of it, or lack of speed in it in certain cases. So I've got loads of files on here now. If I go to one, now this is where it all gets confusing too, because now I've got miscellaneous. I got no idea what all of those mean. I've got DCM, GoPro, then I can view my GoPro footage, but it has so much other information in here that I don't know what it's for. I mean, it must be for something else. What was this one? This one was my Fuji camera. Okay, so this is an interesting one. XT20, which is the camera we're on now, raw files, and it comes up with, well, there's something in there. It sees what is a RAW file, which is the raw format for a Fuji, but I can't view them. So it says, okay, well, it's unable to preview it, open it in something else. Again, I can do that, but it's another step that I have to do. It's a boring step for me and it takes time. So yeah, so that's on the Fuji side. And then what do we have here? So I think this is the other thing. There's no way of telling what camera it's coming from until you actually click on them and see whether it's DCI-M or GoPro or whatever. So again, there's some files here. They're okay, but they're quite slow to view normally, much slower than this. So anyway, I think you get the point. It's a great piece of kit. I would recommend it because it really saved us from having to buy more memory cards. And at the end of each day, we knew we were backed up. I just didn't want to lose that Copilot, obviously, at the end of it all, which I didn't, thank goodness. But the software side of it really needs some work. I mean, I'm working on an iPhone X. You know, everything's the latest software. We've got all the latest gadgets going in with the GoPro, the drone, and the Copilot. And yeah, great piece of kit, not finished yet on the software, needs some work. Please hurry up because it's a very frustrating piece of kit. If you want to view what you've just taken, once you've downloaded it onto the drive. But if you just want to shove stuff on the drive, get it back home, download it, that's fine. Works very well. Anyway, if you like this, please subscribe. A thumbs up really goes a long way for us. The kids are looking at it, they're loving all the thumbs up. Charles is on backstage on this one, but he'll be on plenty more. I'm sure we've got
What's up?
more
Recognize
coming.
that?
I recognise that. So yeah, so let's see what we can do. We'll put some links down below where we got the equipment. We'll maybe throw up a few pictures of the drone footage that we took from the holiday, and you can see where we've been, see what we've been up to. So until next time, thanks very much. We'll see you soon.